Hi, thanks for checking out my channel. You're watching My Morning Motivator. This is where we talk about little tips about life, things that I've learned that I think might help you in getting motivated to do great things with your life. And today we're going to be talking about the myth of being ready. A lot of times we put things off because we don't feel ready to take an initial step. And we end up putting things off indefinitely. We never really get unstuck. So this idea of being ready, well, it never comes. So I'm going to talk about how to navigate those feelings and how to take a step even when you don't feel ready to do so. Stick around. Everything I initiated, everything that I had to start in my life, I felt like I knew nothing. I felt like I had nothing. I felt like I was unqualified. I felt like I didn't have the right personality or the right skills, or I didn't have the right information on my resume. I think we all go through this. Is a universal thing that other people don't always talk about, is that they do things even though they don't feel 100% secure and qualified to do it. It's a universal problem of self-confidence. We don't believe in ourselves. And if you don't think that that's true, there's actually 40 to 50% of people who are willing to admit it actually lie on their resume. That doesn't say. I don't think that people would be proud of the fact that they lie on their resume. I think it says something about human behavior. It says that people don't want to admit that they feel unready and unqualified to do something. It's like the most embarrassing thing to say, I'm not sure how to do this. But it's your future self that will learn. And if you can't learn, somebody will be in your life to help you. I just don't think that there are many instances where you'll have this complete and total dead end. That there will be an escape route or a way to conquer it. It's just that you have to figure it out. And you can't figure out what to do, how to do it, or who's going to help you until you actually arrive at that moment. So you have to trust that your future self, when that obstacle or variable gets there, that your future self will be able to overcome it. That's how you actually build self-confidence. You don't build self-confidence prior to going into an experience. You have to go into the experience to build self-confidence. And the more you do this, the more confident you'll become. I'm going through this myself in that I don't feel qualified to be a writer. That's not. I don't have degrees in writing. I don't have the training, the background, nothing. But I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it every single day because it just calls to me. So you have to do it when you're not ready. You have to do it in a premature form before you can start to really understand how to get better at it. And the other thing that has happened to me in my life is that when I stretch myself like that, when I actually do something when I'm very doubtful of it, it pays huge dividends. It ends up being a much more rewarding thing. Very few things that I have done that push myself, stretch myself, have been disappointing. So somehow life wants you to take that risk. Now, I'm not talking about uncalculated risk. I'm not talking about being stupid and, putting all of your money in cryptocurrency. I'm not talking about that kind of risk. I'm talking about a risk that stretches your capacity. I'm talking about the kind of risk that puts you in situations that you would have normally feared, simply because you have to prove to your future self that you'll figure it out. And those instances have been so rewarding to me. I'm a conservative person by nature. I don't do things unless I have gone through a period of discernment and understanding. But there comes a point where the rubber has to hit the road and you actually have to do it. Like when I first started teaching, I was fresh out of school, and if you're a new teacher, you can kind of relate to this. People ask you questions about things and you realize how much you do not know. But you're the teacher. You're the authority. In my professional life, I have become more of a leader, and I felt totally unqualified to take on the responsibility of leadership. But I knew in the back of my mind that I actually had to do it and that my future self would figure out the best way to become a leader. So I've had to push myself. And then when you push yourself, you realize that you were ready. When it comes to making purchases, I always regret purchasing the least expensive thing. I always seem to get more fulfillment and satisfaction out of spending a little bit more money on a quality product, stretching my budget a little bit, if you will, rather than desperately trying to save money. So those moments where life sort of pushes you out there and the spotlight shines on your face and you have to give a speech when you're not ready, when you have to sign on the dotted line when you're not ready, when you have to teach when you don't feel ready, you'll realize that the moment is ready for you. And that's kind of neat. It's like life sort of set the stage for you and you didn't even realize it. So when you do things and you feel insecure and you feel unready and you don't feel qualified and you don't feel people are supporting you, those are actually probably indications that you should do it. There are those voices in your head that are trying to keep you from doing things, and then deep down inside you're going to be better off if you believe in your future self. That's what this is about. The myth of being ready is not believing that your future self can handle things that you cannot see in your present self. And so the myth of preparation, this kind of feeling like when I have enough money, I'm going to buy this, or when I feel emotionally ready, I'm going to go into a relationship, or when I feel like I'm an expert, I'll begin to teach, or when I feel highly qualified to write, then I'm going to start writing. That's the myth of being ready, because it's just going to stop you from starting. You have to start. You have to put something out there. You'll have to take a step of trust in yourself. That's it. I'm not talking about trusting God or trusting other people. Trusting in your future self is what builds confidence. And you have to show yourself that your future self will be able to figure it out when you get there. Your present self can only see to the corner. Your future self will see around the corner. And whatever it sees, it will figure it out each and every time. And if you can't figure it out, there'll be somebody to help you. Or you'll learn this amazing lesson. Around the corners that you cannot see lies exactly what you need. You don't need to be prepared. You don't need to be ready, because you'll never get there. You need to actually step into the experience and do it. And it's frightening. But I can tell you one thing. Every single time that I have stepped into something where the moment was ready for me, I didn't regret it. So the myth of being ready, this feeling that you're ready, will never happen. You have to sense that the moment is ready for you. That the curtain has risen. The spotlight has come on. Even if it's just a little tiny spotlight, it starts off as a hunch, like, maybe I should, look into starting this business. For me, it's writing on my little blog and making videos. It's fine. This experience is leading me to the next experience. I don't feel qualified to talk to you about anything. I don't feel like I know enough. But there is something inside me that wants to share this information in an honest way. And I hope that it helps you to get comfortable with the right kind of quote unquote risks. And that is doing things even when you don't feel 100% ready, 100% comfortable, or that you can afford it, or that you have enough maturity, or that you have enough qualifications or influence or whatever it is. Sometimes your destiny puts you in a moment where you actually have to, not to coin a cliche, but step up to the plate. Life sort of pushes you into those destiny moments, even when you don't feel ready to do it. But that's simply just preparing you for the next moment, to the next corner that you cannot see around. And that's kind of how life works, and you realize you have to do things. You have no choice but to do something when you're not educated enough, to buy something when it stretches your budget just a little bit, to move towards what you're afraid of. You're going to get ridiculed, you're going to get criticized, you're going to fail, you're going to do stupid things, but your future self will be there to pick you up and to figure out a path forward. So trust in your intelligence. Trust that you can and will be ready when the next moment is ready for you. I hope that this information has been helpful to you. If you're afraid to take initial steps, if you don't feel like you're ready or prepared or anything, use that as a moment to really reflect on what that means. It could mean that it's time for you to take an initial step, even though you're not ready. Because the idea of being totally ready will never come to you. You'll never feel comfortable doing anything. And that fear will paralyze you. So there's a voice in your head, there's a myth that's being repeated. Wait until you're ready. Wait until you can afford it. Wait until you're educated. Wait until this moment and this moment. It could be that the moment is actually waiting on you, and that it's all set up for you already. You just have to step into it with a certain amount of unpreparedness. And that's okay. You'd be surprised at what happens. The payoff is usually pretty amazing. If you just step off of those things and take a little step towards the thing that you're not ready to do, you'll probably discover that you're actually more ready than you think you are. And that you'll be glad you actually made that little bit of a sacrifice, you took that little bit of a risk, or you did it even though you're not totally knowledgeable about it. You will figure it out. I really do appreciate you checking out my blog, mymorningmotivator.com. If you have any comments, or if the things that I've talked about in this video have sparked other questions or other line of thinking, please let me know in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time.